The world is engulfed in the Ice Age, a fierce chapter of the Cenozoic era. As massive glaciers from both poles expand, swallowing millions of square miles of land and causing sea levels to drop. The air is dry and cold. Only hardy grasses and stunted shrubs can survive. For creatures originating from the warm climates of Africa, survival here is a relentless struggle. Their bodies, designed to release heat, now fight to retain every bit of precious warmth. Their bare skin, lacking thick fur like other mammals, leaves them vulnerable to the piercing cold. Each night is a trial of life and death, as temperatures plunge below freezing, threatening to freeze their bodies and halt them forever. In such harsh conditions, the pressure of natural selection becomes ruthless. Food sources grow extremely scarce. The body's energy demands soar, requiring abundant calories to maintain temperature and vital functions. Amid this struggle for survival, fire is the one thing that keeps life clinging on. At first, they learn to preserve it, nurture it, and carry it during migrations. Fire brought warmth, dispelled the deadly cold. It brought light, transforming long dark nights into safe spaces. It kept nocturnal predators lurking at the edge of the darkness at bay. But maintaining a fire taken from nature was unpredictable. A rainstorm, a gust of wind, or a moment of carelessness could extinguish it, casting the group back into darkness and freezing cold. The loss of fire meant not just losing warmth, but losing security, losing the social center where the group gathered but shared and bonded. Through evolution, they no longer relied on collecting flames from nature, but gradually learned to create fire themselves. The ability to produce fire at will was one of humanity's first great achievements. It required deep understanding of materials, which stones struck sparks. Which tinder caught easily, which wood burned longest. It demanded patience, fine motor skills, and the ability to pass down complex knowledge to the next generation. The moment a spark flew from two stones was more than the birth of a flame. It was the birth of control over the environment. It freed them from the randomness of nature. that point on, they could travel anywhere, survive the harshest winters, and begin reshaping the world to their will. Fire did more than warm their bodies. It illuminated the path for human intelligence to evolve, turning a trembling creature in the dark into the master of nature. Having mastered fire, they now faced another challenge, mastering the hunt for survival. The African savanna was a grand stage for life and death, an ecosystem defined by two seasons, the lush wet season and the harsh dry one. Across endless plains stretching to the horizon, survival depended on constant movement and the search for ever-shifting food sources. For the ancient hunters, this environment was both an advantage and a challenge. Their upright stance allowed them to see far across tall grass, spotting both predators and prey from a safe distance. Their unique anatomy, long legs, elastic Achilles tendons, and efficient sweat regulation through the skin made them exceptional endurance runners. They could not outrun four-legged animals in a sprint, but they could maintain steady speed for hours under the blazing sun, a strategy known as persistence hunting. Yet hunting on open plains required more than endurance. It required a brain capable of planning, coordination, and communication. A lone hunter rarely succeeded, but a group working together could achieve the extraordinary. They needed to understand the prey's behavior, its habits, paths, and reactions when threatened. They had to communicate, not with complex speech, but with gestures, glances, and deep mutual understanding of intent. The hunt tested the balance of cognition. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for decision-making and impulse control, was still developing. This created a constant internal conflict between immediate needs and long-term goals. An easy, immediate source of protein, like a fat termite mound, could easily distract a hunter from the main objective, a larger, richer, but far more dangerous prey. Such distraction was not just a personal failure, it was a threat to the group's survival. Cooperation relied on trust and interdependence. Each individual had to fulfill their role perfectly. One weak link could break the plan, endanger teammates, and doom the whole group to hunger. After the hunt, fire once again proved central. Cooking meat was a nutritional breakthrough. Cooked meat was easier to digest and absorb. It destroyed parasites and harmful bacteria, drastically reducing disease risk. The energy gained from cooked food was significantly higher than from raw flesh. The surplus calories not only nourished muscles, they fueled the expanding, then complex brain. Meals around the fire were more than just feeding. They were communal rituals, strengthening bonds, sharing experience, and reinforcing unity within the tribe. Hunting and gathering around the fire tightened community bonds. From this closeness emerged the need to record experiences, memories, and stories. The human mind was undergoing a profound shift. It no longer focused solely on the present, on hunger, cold, or immediate danger. They began to think of the past and imagine the future. Memories were no longer reflexes, they became stories, lessons, and pain. The death of a companion was no longer the disappearance of a body. It left a void in both the social structure and in their minds. To cope with complex emotions, grief, loss, fear, the brain needed new forms of expression. They needed something lasting, something to commemorate events, honor bravery, remember the dead, and perhaps is to gain control over an uncertain world. This was the birth of art. Caves became sacred spaces, canvases for humanity's earliest ideas, gateways into the realms of memory and imagination. Creating pigments from clay, charcoal, and minerals, mixing them with animal fat or saliva showed a primitive grasp of color and chemistry. The act of painting was a complex cognitive process. It required transforming a real-world image into a symbol on stone, coordination between eye and hand, and understanding of form and perspective. These paintings may have been hunting magic, attempts to capture the spirit of the animal before the hunt, to ensure success and safety. They were stories passed down, preserving knowledge of animals and hunting techniques through generations. Some may have been early rituals performed by shamans in trance to connect with the spirit world. Art represented the ability to use one thing, an image, to stand for another, an animal, event, or idea, a foundation for symbolic thought, and, eventually, written language. after mastering the depiction of prey through art. Humans took another leap, forming an alliance with another predator to conquer the world together. Across Ice Age landscapes, two top hunters coexisted and competed. Both hunted in groups. Both had complex social hierarchies. Both pursued large prey. One species stood upright with intelligent brains and stone tools. The other was the grey wolf, swift, strong, and keen-sensed. This similarity in lifestyle created an opportunity for a unique partnership in Earth's history. Domestication was not an act of conquest. It began accidentally. The less fearful, more curious wolves likely lingered near human camps, drawn by the smell of leftovers. Most were chased off or killed, but a few, perhaps young or less aggressive, were tolerated. For these wolves, human camps offered obvious benefits: steady, safe food sources without the risk and effort of hunting. In return, their presence gave humans unexpected advantages. With superior hearing and smell, they acted as early warning systems against predators or approaching strangers. Over generations, trust grew. Humans and wolves began hunting together. Wolves could chase and corner prey toward hidden hunters. In turn, humans, armed with long-range weapons, could bring down large animals a lone wolf pack could never subdue. This cooperation drove coevolution. Natural selection favored wolves that understood human signals, but were less aggressive and more cooperative. Over thousands of years, these changes reshaped them in both behavior and form, giving rise to a new species, the domestic dog. After gaining a loyal companion in hunting, humans faced another invisible enemy, disease and injury, forcing them to discover the first remedies. Life in prehistory was constantly threatened by harm. A fall, wild animal attacks, or a crafting accident could cause severe wounds. World without medicine or antiseptics, even a small cut could become infected and deadly. Confronted with this grim reality, early humans developed two parallel systems of knowledge. The first relied on belief in the supernatural. Illness was thought to result from evil spirits, dark magic, or divine punishment. Shamans performed rituals, chanted incantations, and used magical objects to ward off these forces. While it offered psychological comfort and social cohesion, its real healing power was limited. The second was far more practical, built on careful observation of nature, refined through endless trial and error over generations. They learned that some plants were edible, some poisonous, and others had mysterious effects. Women, as primary gatherers, gained deep botanical knowledge, knowing when plants bloomed and which parts could be used. A major cognitive leap occurred when someone linked animal behavior to human healing. Noticing an injured creature using a certain plant and deducing it might help humans too. This analogical reasoning showed advanced abstract thinking, connecting ideas across contexts. Applying this, crushing leaves and placing them on wounds marked the dawn of experimental medicine. It was a shift from passively accepting fate to actively altering outcomes. Each successful remedy became knowledge, remembered and passed down. The seed of a tribe's collective wisdom. Early medicine profoundly shaped society. It increased survival after injury, allowing skilled hunters and elders to keep contributing. It reduced reliance on supernatural explanations and empowered those with real knowledge. The healer's status likely rose, creating a new kind of authority based on intellect and skill rather than strength. Just as medicinal knowledge grew from observation, human intelligence continued to manifest through the creation of tools. Overcoming physical limits. Human evolution was inseparable from tool innovation. The opposable thumb allowed crafting and manipulation. Using tools was, in turn, drove selective pressure for more complex planning. Fine motor control was an imagination. The earliest spears, or sharpened sticks or stone-tipped shafts, were revolutionary. They allowed hunters to strike prey from a distance, reducing risk. Yet they had limits. Range and power depended entirely on the thrower's strength. For swift, wary prey like antelope, that wasn't enough. This technological ceiling presented a problem, and the human brain sought solutions. Innovation often came from combining known ideas in new ways or by observing natural principles. When a hunter noticed that a bent branch could act as a lever to hurl something farther, a spark of insight occurred. He grasped a fundamental principle. Leverage multiplies force and speed. Applying this to hunting led to one of the greatest inventions in weapon history, the atlala, or spear thrower. The atlala, essentially a stick with a hook at one end to hold the spear's base, extended the arm's length. When swung, it transferred more energy to the spear over a longer arc. A spear thrown with an atlatl flew farther, faster, and hit harder than one thrown by hand. This changed hunting forever. Hunters could now strike large, dangerous prey from a much safer distance. Success rates soared. Meat and other animal resources, hides, bones, sinews, became more plentiful and reliable. This abundance supported larger groups, more complex social structures, and expansion into new territories. Having conquered the external world with superior tools, humans turned inward, exploring emotion, grief, and the meaning of existence. For most animals, death was simply a biological end. But for a species aware of self and relationships, death carried profound significance. As consciousness deepened, they began to ponder. What happens after death? Does the spirit go somewhere? What is the meaning of life if it must end? The intentional burial of the dead marked the dawn of abstract thought and spiritual belief. It revealed deep emotional bonds. They no longer saw the dead as mere bodies, but as individuals, mothers, friends, teachers, once vital to their lives. Burial was a way to show respect, process loss, and strengthen the living's unity. The inclusion of grave goods, tools, ornaments, weapons, even flowers, implied belief in an afterlife. They thought the deceased would need these things on their next journey. This ritual gave structure to grief. It affirmed that life had meaning and would be remembered. As they gazed at the starry sky after the ceremony, they connected their loss with the eternity of the cosmos, a deeply reflective act. The emergence of funerary rituals marked a turning point in human evolution. It showed a species no longer ruled solely by instinct, but capable of love, mourning, contemplation, and hope, reaching beyond mere survival to become fully human.